welcome to the SoundCentric podcast. I am Madam Dash, and today we are joined by one of the best rappers you will literally ever hear, Chicago's own Kayo. Thank you for coming to the show.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
his album. Thank you. His album is Until His Burial, and this felt like a surprise release. Like I saw one that you posted, like I'm dropping soon.
Yeah.
What went into that?
Not even I'm dropping soon. I said I'm dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
Tonight, actually. I think I said coming at midnight. Definitely surprised. We wanted to do a mixtape, man. Like we were just talking. We started 2023 with the project, and it was just this grandiose thing. It was a release party. It was merch. It was like gift boxes for everybody that came. It was like just this big thing. And it took out really like the latter half of my 2022 and the first quarter of my 2023. And I met with my producer Third, and it's like we were just both kind of like, that's not what hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? Like, say that shit for the pop artists. Like, hip hop is making a great song, and the people are able to get it in like no time flat. You know what I'm saying? There's this Lil Wayne clip where he was talking to the rappers, and he like, y'all acting like these singers. You won't go to the studio till you got a hook, till you got a subject, and I play that clip all the time, bro, because it's one of my favorite clips.
Yeah.
And that's where we were at. Like, that clip could have been played at the beginning of the project, because that's where we were at with it. We're like, bro, spending 6 months on a rollout and this, that, and the third for one project, like, that makes no sense. We making the music is going to be greater than everything else that you're getting, so it's going to stand on its own, and we're just going to let it speak for itself. And we're going to drop, and then we're going to do it again, then do it again, then do it again, and that's the formula. Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of something I heard Rick Rubin say recently, because he was talking about people having writer's block, and that the key to that isn't necessarily step away and experience life. It can be, but you could also just look at music sometimes as like a straight journal entry and just say, this is for me right now.
Right.
No, I'm not going to worry about like what other people are going to think about it. And that kind of gets you back in that mode of like, okay, now I'm ready to make some stuff that I'm ready for others to hear.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to jinx myself, knock on wood, but I never get writer's block, ever. And there's rappers, I won't, of course, mention them, but there's rappers that call me often, like really often, like, man, what's the secret to doing this, to doing that, to doing that? In fact, I was at an event. I was at this concert at FemDot show, actually. I was at FemDot show.
It's fire.
And yeah, one of my homies asked me, it wasn't FemDot, but they asked me, they were like, bro, how do you continue to have the output that you have without the quality lacking? And I was like, I can't remember the last time I lied in my raps, like told even the slightest white lie. Like, it sounds really good, but if you really break down the words, I don't even be saying nothing that, like, it's my regular life. I talk about makeups, you know what I'm saying, breakups, relationships, my mom, my dad, my sister. You even on a project, I think it's the intro where like it's No Remorse. I think I talk about me and my sister used to always get into it. And it's like, on paper, it's like, who raps about that? But it sounds good if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's been my formula since inception, for real.
Well, I know you're also a Cole stan, and I mean that's the reason why I love Cole, just because he says stuff that like really everyone can relate to. And like he gets flamed for folding clothes, but I can imagine if I'm married, like why folding clothes would be such a dope song.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. That's like those little small conveniences, bro. Like I talk about luxuries, and it's like we all, like, as rappers, we're all looking for $1 million, $1 billion, this, that, and the third. And we see Hove and shit, but it's like, I bet Hove will tell you the greatest part of his life is the fact that he can wake up and not have to do laundry, not have to clean a single thing, no dishes, can eat whatever you want. Like, that's really what we're going for. So a song like Folding Clothes and the music that I make, it's like, it's talking about those luxuries that nobody really thinks about. And that's why it kind of rises to the top, because the cream always rises to the top. It's like, that's why those songs and those verses from me always tend to rise to the top of what's going on, because it's like, it's those luxuries that you don't really think about. But it's, damn, Kayo low-key talking like, damn, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got the freckled face Rolly that you're rapping about?
Freckled face Rolly. So You know what's funny? That was a joke on myself. The joke is, I don't know if you noticed, but diamonds are like, if they're fake, they're really like cloudy and like spotty.
Yeah.
That was the joke. Like
Oh, the freckle. Okay.
freckles, yeah,
I
not
got you.
diamonds. And it's so funny because my producer like tweaked off that line, like, "Ee," and I'm like, this is gonna work so well because it's gonna sound like I'm saying like a bust
A
down rollie.
flex. Yeah.
But anybody that knows me knows that I will preach against a bust down rollie 10 days out of 10. Like it's just pointless. I don't like the way it looks and it depreciates the value. So it's 0
Yeah.
out of 2 points for me. So yeah, that freckle face was like when we used to buy the fake watches from the like from the Arabs
Yeah.
in the middle of the mall and shit. That was that line. But yeah.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah, I got
hilarious.
nothing.
That's so
May
hilarious.
have a bracelet sometimes. I have no watch.
Yeah,
But
man. I got on this, bro. This little joint. This shit was $5, bro.
bro, it shows the time. It's got a leather strap. We'll take it.
You feel me? It works. It
Well,
works.
to get into how we usually start the show, we usually do a playlist title of the week, kind of just express how we're feeling, how we're doing. So I told you this before the show to get you prepared. But what
hmm
song is kind of highlighting how you're feeling right now?
Oof. It's crazy because you did tell me and I somehow forgot, but I think I remember. Asar,
There we go. Yeah,
um,
Poster Child.
Poster Child. Asar
There we go.
Poster Child. I was listening to it like 2 days ago, so I chose that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's
told
my.
me that you're the reason why he got the choir on his album.
Ooh, that's high praise. I'm not the reason, but I was the conduit to make it happen. So he used
Okay.
my church's choir. And I'm a
Yeah.
Muslim, so I know that just sounded crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm like a Christian Muslim. Like I go to church every other
Interesting.
Sunday, yeah. And then a mosque every other Sunday. And he used my church's choir on there. So I was the conduit, but it was his idea for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
Yeah.
for
So
me, my title of the week is Andrew Kelly Ain't Enough, produced by Styx. If you know Andrew Kelly, this guy
hmm
raps like his
yeah,
ass off.
I gotta
His
tap in. It sounds I think we follow each other on Twitter. It sounds
d- like
extremely familiar.
you'll hear this guy. He's got like the JID Lil. He's definitely inspired by Lil Wayne. He's got the JID style where I can't explain it until you hear it, and you're like, yeah, this kid's killing
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
bet. I feel like he he's white, right?
yeah,
I know exactly who you talking about.
he's got a really specific voice.
Yep, I know exactly. Yeah, yeah. We follow each other on Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely
yeah.
know him.
Shout out
Well,
Andrew.
shout
But to
out,
get
Andrew.
into a fun topic to start things off, so I know you are a Hove stan. You just came out with a Change Clothes freestyle,
Yeah.
which a fun part about hip hop is that like I'm 22, so I'm listening to Jay Z. Like I'm going back in time listening to all these Jay Z songs. So I found out that Change Clothes is not a well received song, but I love that song because I'm
Yeah.
coming from the perspective of I'm just like going through the Black album. I'm like, oh, this is a
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah. Change clothes. It's so funny because I got into not a debate, but he replied to my tweet. B dot dude that does the year end
Yeah,
list. It was like a minute ago, like maybe
yeah.
five
His list
years.
sucks.
Yeah, his
His
his list
list,
be awful. All due respect, B dot.
great
I
journalist,
was
but no,
saying like how good of an album Black
Black
Album
album.
is, and I said it's like a perfect album.
Yeah,
And then he replied saying like all except Change Clothes, and that was my
I don't get
first
it.
time ever hearing that people didn't like Change Clothes. I was like, what the hell? Like
Yeah,
that shit is like Pharrell went crazy on that shit, like
it's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like I'll be at the
it's
gym going bar for bar with that one, which I don't
yeah.
get. Maybe it's because the beat is more upbeat than the rest of the album is, but I have
Beat
no
is
clue why.
hard though. Like you know what
I
it
like
is,
it.
bro? Niggas aren't cool, and it's a very funny sentence to say, but people like no bullshit. Like I have these arguments with. Oh wait, can I curse on here?
Yeah,
Okay, bet. I have these arguments with like rap peers and stuff of like where the disconnect is, specifically with what we were talking about off air with like the Chicago sound. And I
yeah,
say, bro, the reason it doesn't really graduate past the level, and everyone disagrees with me on this, but like I'm like that meme with the one dude going to get like all those people
yeah,
surrounding him and shit.
yeah,
Yeah, I am that when it comes to this, bro. I think that human beings, consumers, artists, whatever you are like there's very few cool people in the world. And I don't mean cool like high school musical, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
cool table and the lames. I mean people that actually live life worth living. And that sounds so that's so bogus to say, but like live, like do things. You know what I'm saying? Like do activities, go on dates, go out of town, go to different countries, different states, different things. It's like people don't live enough.
Hmm.
So certain music, it's like you have to be living for it to resonate with you. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's why you'll see a song and it's like to you, it's like, dog, this song sounds like the theme song to the last vacation I went on. But to a
Uh-huh.
person that's never been out of their basement, and I don't mean that condescendingly, like there's people that just play
Yeah.
video games all day, go to work, come home, pay their bill, and just call it a day. So change clothes, that luxury ass, like I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
So I think that be the disconnect.
Yeah, and I think music is best formed through experiences. So, like you said, playing video games can be an experience. A lot of people, that's how were playing Xbox and they're bumping like Logic or
Right.
something, and that's how they got into music. But for
Exactly.
example, one of my favorite albums of the year was K Tremine, and
Hmm.
a lot of people didn't love the album because it didn't end up sounding as summery as it was supposed to sound. But I was
Hmm.
on a trip after graduating in Europe, so like when I think of that album, like it just kind of was the soundtrack to my trip. So I just love
Right.
the album and have a
Right.
great experience with
Facts.
it.
Facts. That's how music is. Drake has a great quote where I don't even know if this is an actual quote, but I used to like like where they have the picture, then they put the quote over the picture and shit. Um, it was this quote that I believe came from him, but he was just talking about how like um what was it? Damn, I feel like LeBron James right now when he said, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite saying." Damn, what was the shit? Oh, he was saying that like I didn't like basically my music didn't change. Like you don't love or hate who I am now. You just like miss those experiences that you were going through at that time. But the music is progressing. Is good. Like I can't give you back that experience. I can only give you new music.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same point that you're making there.
Yeah. And to give you another quote I love that to your top point about being cool, that Tyler
Hmm.
the Creator said is like my favorite thing. Tyler the Creator was like, it's not cool like the High School Musical type of cool. Being cool
Yeah.
is like not caring about what others think about you and like doing your passion. So he was
Right.
explaining how one of his friends loves like anime or something, and he's like, I love
Mhm.
hearing him nerd out about anime. Like that's so cool to me that he loves that. And like for
Right.
me, like my brother's a doctor, and hearing him nerd out about science, like it's fun hearing like how interesting.
Yeah.
Like I don't love it, but like it's so cool seeing him do that, and I
Right.
think he appreciates me nerding out about music. And I'm like, yo, watch this music video, like see what happens right
Hmm.
there.
Yeah. Facts. Facts, bro. That's the beauty of life. Like, if you just be yourself, bro, like accept your own and be yourself, it's like that's the secret to fulfill life. Like it's people that like look at me so crazy because of how much I love coffee. Like I can drink coffee at any time of day, before bed,
Yeah,
in the middle of the night, in the morning,
before
afternoon,
bed's
like
a bold move.
bro, it's I love it. It's like my favorite thing, and it's like there's nobody that could take me off of that hill. And it sounds crazy, but one day I'm going to sign $100 million deal with some coffee company, and then the kids are going to be like, "Oh, damn, I need to get into coffee." And it's like, no, you're not getting the point. You need to get into whatever the hell you love
You
and
like,
find a way to
yeah,
make that, like to monetize that. Like that's the thing. That's that cool shit.
yeah,
Like, don't chase what someone else made successful, because you're not going to make it as successful as I did because you don't genuinely love this thing.
yeah.
If Phil's Coffee, I was gonna say Starbucks, but they would have got me up out of here. If Phil's Coffee or like Dunkin' Donuts or some shit like gave me a bag, the amount of endorsing I would do for that company would be astronomical because they've never met a person that drinks coffee like me. But it's like
Yeah,
I don't know if you're a coffee drinker, but let's say you're
I am a
not.
coffee.
Okay, well, I'm not
Yeah,
going to use, or I will, but let's say you weren't one, it wouldn't translate this. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't
yeah, yeah.
translate the same. So to
Yeah,
that
that's why
point,
you need proper advertisers. They say that for like podcasts. Like if I came on this podcast and I started sponsoring like a dog food, it'd be like that doesn't really line up with the hip hop
exactly, yeah,
people.
at all.
But if like if Ableton reached out to me to sponsor, it's like, oh, I could actually do that because the
So,
listeners will probably be interested in what
yep,
Ableton has to offer,
there
something
you
like
go.
that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for you, because a big thing happened for you because you are a Muslim and this guy's obviously one of the best rappers ever. Jay Electronica followed you. So first,
Woo!
tell me your initial reaction.
Yo, I'm gonna bring y'all in on this. I screamed. First of all, my producer cried. No bullshit. And he's gonna hate me
That's
for saying
awesome.
that, but I don't care. I'm saying it like actual tears. And I was on the phone with one of my homies, And I was actually not even trying to go on Instagram. I was trying to go on Twitter, and my Instagram tab was open, and I go to it, and it reloads. And I see a blue check, but everybody got a blue check now because they pay, like with the Meta thing. So it was like, okay, cool, whatever. But something about this blue check, it just looked a little bit different. So I swiped back to Instagram, like, wait, was that a celebrity that just followed me? And sure enough, it says Jay Electronica liked your reel, and then right above it, it says started following you from your reel. And I literally I was screaming, and my homie like, what? What's going on? What's going on? And I'm not gonna say where I live, but I live somewhere where if I start, like, something could have been going terribly awry. So that was, what I'm saying, their first reaction. And I'm like, hey, I gotta hit you back. And I called Third, called my producer. And he just, man, bro, just got emotional because on another conversation, we could talk about just how much we really put into this shit for the last decade, bro, that a lot of people didn't see. And we got a lot of no's, like a lot. In fact, we got nothing but no's. I don't think we've ever been told yes one time with anything we were trying to do with anybody. And we finally just decided to do it ourselves. And like, it's really starting to bear some fruit. So that shit was crazy.
Man, you're giving me chills. I mean, I know, to give you a similar experience for me, that happened recently. Because with the podcast, it's a lot of looking at numbers and comparing yourself, and it could definitely suck a lot of the times. And I tweeted something about Jordan Ward, and he retweeted me. And like, I just clicked on it. I'm like, wait, does he follow me? And like, it didn't say you have a new follower. I'm like, how long has he been following me that I didn't notice that like, my artist of the year followed me? And I was like, yelling at my house. My mom's like, what's up? And I couldn't really explain it because she doesn't know who Jordan Ward is.
She don't know,
And I always say an artist is like my favorite artist, but like, he was literally my number one last year. And I'm like, he actually follows me. That's crazy.
That's amazing, bro. I love that. I love to hear that. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're winning out here.
Dude. Of course.
So thank you. I have a question as a Jay-Z fan too. A written testimony. Is that a collab album or is that a Jay Electronica album?
You know what? that is a collab album to me. Like, I say, album. Yeah. And it's so funny because the way that I was telling to your point, my mom doesn't, like, she knows the name Jay Electronica just because she's a Muslim. Yeah. But like, if she walked past them at CVS 7 times, she wouldn't stop once. She'd have no clue who she was walking past, except the fact that he got that big ass 5% chain. But other than that, she'd have no clue. I believe that's the 5%. Oh God, please, Muslims, don't attack me if that's something. But I do believe that's the 5% chain. But the star 7, all of that. Yeah. Regardless, it's Supreme Wisdom. Let's just say that Supreme Wisdom chain. Anyway, the way I was explaining to her who Jay Electronica is, her favorite rapper ever, aside from me, is Jay-Z. So I was like, he's the guy that dropped a collab album with Jay-Z. And then she started tweaking out. So yes, that's a collab album, for sure.
Yeah, I always had the issue. I'm like, you didn't drop an album for 10 years that was supposed to come out. And then you give the first verse on your finally released album to a different person. I'm like, your voice had to be the first voice that came in. But it was a great album.
Yeah. It's so funny because I had an opposite kind of response because the first verse was Jay-Z, but the first voice was Minister Farrakhan. And I tweaked out, bro. Like, you hear the music, it's like violins and shit. And then his voice, and I know his voice, like, I know his sound patterns from anywhere. Like, before he even starts talking, I know he has a very distinct talking pattern. So I was like, oh, like, it was like that video where DJ Academics like tweaks out at Drake's
the Astro World, yeah,
that's what it was, the Astro and shit.
That video's insane.
Yeah, like, it was
grown man.
Yeah, I was on God. He's like, yo, you a grown ass man. But that's how I was in the crib. Niggas like, yo, you a grown ass man. But I was tweaking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's me listening to like the off season with the hidden features. Even though I knew Cole, I'm like, come on, what's he coming with? What's he coming with?
Facts.
Well, to finally get into your album, which, as I said before we logged on, like, it's fucking great. This is a good ass album. So it's called Until His Burial. I know you're big on album names having sentences.
Yes.
What went into the title for this one?
Damn, how'd you know that? Before I answer your question.
Yo, you're Kayo. We have to know. Hit you with a little Nardwuar.
That's like a actual thing with me. Like, it's on my vision board. Like, no title will ever not be coherent, complete sentence. That's
I
so
just want to say, as someone doing interviews, that was the best response. I think you're the first person to finally be like, "How'd you know that?" So
yeah, that's like I know you know that it was a sentence, but to say that you like doing sentences,
doing
that's like,
sentences.
damn, how'd you know that? Yeah,
Hey, we got some
but
more coming.
yeah,
Hopefully,
but yes, I do like all of my project titles, and I got to be clear, it's a mixtape, not an album, but
yes.
I do like all of my project titles to be sentences. Um, I'm forgetting the question now. What was the question?
Just like, what's the meaning of the title for you?
Oh, right. I thought so, but I was like, nah, that's not what you just
Yeah.
asked. Okay. Until his burial. Very simple meaning, actually. So, long story less long, the project was titled John 19. It's a passage in the Bible. And basically, Christians don't fight me. Somewhere in there, I don't know who is saying it, but he's saying, I am finished, or it is finished. That's the quote.
Okay.
It is finished. And it's not Jesus. I'm like 80% sure that it's not Jesus. I believe it's like, maybe, I don't know, John. I don't know.
I don't, I'm
This is
Jewish.
John
You
19.
can make up any answer right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll just say anybody. I'll just say some guy named John. Since it's called John 19. But anyways, he's saying no, it's Paul, I think. I think it's Paul.
There we go,
And he's
Paul.
saying
Okay.
it is finished. Um Basically saying like give it all up to God. Like, like my translation of it or my understanding of it is like throw your hands up and like just kind of be like, I am doing whatever God wants me to do, and I will be successful in all that I do because I only do what God wants me to do. And that it spoke to me when I had heard it. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I want to call the project John 19. And then my producer was like, nah, that's too vague. And it's like corny almost because people use Bible titles, you know what I'm saying, scriptures and shit. Like,
Yeah.
nah, we're not doing that. So I'm like, what we gonna like title it then? He said, read John 19 and see what sentence stands out to you since you like sentences. That's why
I
you
like
just
that.
tweaked me
Yeah.
out. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, like how'd you know that? He was like, since you like sentences, find a sentence that stands out to you. And we both start like he's reading it to me on FaceTime. And damn near the first passage in one of the parts is like something, something, something until his burial.
Burial.
We was like, boom, there
There it
you
is.
go. It's done. It's done. That is the title. And it was that.
I feel like
Sincere.
I feel like there's some other artists, like mainstream artists, that I heard a story that the producer was like, go through a book and just put your finger down and like that's the name. I wish I could find the example at the top of my head,
That's fire.
but it was someone that like just flipping the dictionary and like point to
Yeah.
something and like that's what the title is.
That's dangerous though. What if it lands on some nut ass shit, yo? Like
Yeah.
Nazi Germany or some shit.
Yeah, yo, they might have lied. I don't know. They might have
Nah,
put their finger down and like kept going and see
yeah,
what
yeah,
lands
yeah.
on.
Just kept moving that shit, but that's how
Yeah,
Westside Gun chooses his titles for sure.
I don't know
For
how.
sure.
I don't get his whole
Hitler
humor
wears
thing.
hermits. He's
See, it's
incredible.
hard for me because like I'm Jewish, but I'm like I love
Yeah,
West Side Gun.
yeah,
It's my
you
whole
like.
thing with.
I've always wondered, like, because I can't put like we don't have like with black. This is about to get really dark and grim, but with
Okay.
like you all have like a like Jews have like you have a targeting with like who did what they did. It's like Adolf Hitler. It's like you're clear. With
Yeah.
black, it's like we don't have a name. It's just like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
you know
I
what
get
I'm
what you
saying.
mean.
So it's like I wonder what title would like just piss black. Like you named that shit what? Like Sir John Hawkins or some
I
shit.
like
Maybe
David
Christopher
Duke. I don't
Columbus
know.
or some shit.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know.
that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
It's like fucking
that.
Kanye was the picture of him, the life of Pablo, was my back screen for so long. And my
Mhm.
friends are like, when are you gonna change that? I'm like, I don't know. He made late registration, and like I don't know what to do
Yeah,
about it. I
man.
changed the Cole though. We got to
Yeah,
another
man.
artist.
Ye is one of those ones. Like that's the definition. This is why I always argue with rappers, bro. Because it's like y'all be like, man, it's too sensitive. Like it's the Dave Chappelle thing. Like is climate really too sensitive, or are you just not great at what you do? Like
That's the I know
you
what you're
know what I'm
talking about.
saying?
There's a Cat Williams video where he's talking about cancel culture, and
Hmm.
he's like, if you're saying something that gets so many people to not want to do it, it's not cancel culture. It's like a democracy. People are saying we do not want to hear that information. So instead of
Exactly.
complaining about it, it's like you're probably doing something that is not
Yeah,
that good.
you're probably not great at it. And it's like the people who do go against it, they find a way to go against it in such a weaving way. And it's like I feel like Ye lost his ability to weave through, because he always was a
Kind of like that.
insane like he got on
Yeah.
TV that George Bush don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? Like he always
Yeah.
was but he always had a way of weaving it where you couldn't really say anything about, like, even with the
Yeah.
Taylor Swift thing, it was like it was crazy, but then after he was like, yeah, it forced us to have a conversation about racism at the Grammys, racism at the VMAs, like it
Mhm.
forced the conversation.
I feel like Kanye was just, as a young Kanye, he was just such a, like, you could tell he's a very kind person.
Yeah,
And I think so. Like, his mom passes away, then he does the Taylor thing, so maybe there was some sympathy with that. But
right.
now it's just like, I don't know, you're being a lot.
Yeah, you definitely doing some, and you just have to be wise. Like it's certain, you can always hear something in what he's saying of like, oh, a conversation needs to happen. But it's like that's like a conversation needs to
Not
happen,
that.
not you know what I mean? Like just a total berating. But
Yeah.
I also don't know what he mentally goes through. And
Yeah.
I don't know what all he's been taught. And I'm big on information and misinformation. And some people genuinely have just been taught wrong, like no bullshit. And it's like they
Yeah.
don't have no horse in the race. They genuinely believe that this is the truth and this is what it is. And it's like, so they'll just kind of spew that, and it's like they don't have no hate for it. No, in fact, I have this friend who is white. In fact, he's Jewish. I have this friend who's Jewish and like, yeah,
There we go.
and he used to. In fact, this is an off-air conversation. I'll tell you, but he used to
Okay.
say something all the time, and like one day I just had to tell him like, hey, you know that shit's wild as hell, and he genuinely was like, bro, I grew up around nothing but black people, like in the hip hop culture, like that's just what we was on. Like I never heard, like nobody has ever told me I'm wilding for saying this, so I just kept saying it, and I've said it around
Yeah.
people much more threatening than you, and nothing happened. So it's like, and it just kind of
Yeah.
forced me to be like, damn, if somebody don't check it, then why would you even think to, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, stop? Like West Side Gun not gonna stop naming them shits that unless somebody be like, hey,
Yeah.
we don't like this, we not buying that shit, bro.
Yeah, I saw an argument on Twitter that was like someone saying their grandmother was racist, and people were like, "Why didn't you say something to her?" And it's like you can't tell an old person, like they know their beliefs, and
Grandma,
like
yeah.
bro, like, they get fooled online. Like my parents have shown me stuff. I'm like, that's not real, and they're like, "Oh, I thought this was real." It's really
Right.
easy to be tricked,
Absolutely, bro.
which
Very
is a full
easy.
different conversation. That
Yeah.
like,
Total different conversation. That's why I
totally,
say we'll talk about it off air
yeah,
because
yeah.
it'll be like an
Well,
hour and a half.
to get right back into the album, I want to say that I wrote you a song sounds like an intro. Like
Oh
I
wow.
love that you picked that beat, and I love how you started it because sometimes albums miss that now with the way you
Mm,
want to line your album up, just so like the first song's the best song and stream wise.
yeah.
But I like how
Right.
you chose a song that had a specific intro feel to it.
Uh,
What did you go into that song saying? I want to talk about this. Like this is the first bar of it. Like this is
yeah.
gonna kind of describe what
Um,
this album will be.
I'm going to lose genius points here, but that actually was not supposed to be the intro at first. That was just a,
Wow,
yeah, we made
it
it the
sounds like one.
my producer made it the intro after the fact, but it was the first song done though out of all of those songs. So in theory it was the intro, but I didn't go into it making an intro.
Yeah.
Um but when I made that song, so basically this mixtape happened because I had a drop, like on my phone right here, I have a Dropbox full of like hundreds of songs, like
Yeah.
hundred, and they're incredible. And I was prepping for the second album that was probably going to drop around spring 2024. And I was just sending my producer stuff, and the first song, I believe the first song that was done was the intro. I wrote you a song. Uh, and when I sent those songs to him, he was like, "Yo, I got it." He has this like he's like Ye in the sense of he's really impulsive, and he'll just call you. He'll call you
Yeah.
3 in the morning. His sleep schedule, like he wakes up at 3 p.m. and goes to sleep at like 6 a.m. Like
That's
he has
crazy.
the strangest sleep schedule ever. So he'll call you at the worst times of the night, and he'll say, "Yo, I got it. This is what we doing." So he calls and he's like, we're doing a mixtape. You're dropping 10 songs. It started with this, boom, 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 and you're rapping. I don't want you singing. I don't want no hooks. I don't want none of that. I want you rapping. And I wrote you a song, just ended up being moved to the front because how it
Hmm.
sonically sounded. But we didn't go into it making an intro though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool that you have so much faith and like trust in your producer, because some artists, especially if you start making music in your bedroom and it's like only you and you're
Yeah.
transitioning to collaborating with people, but like that's sick that you guys have that much
Yeah.
faith.
Nah, we have a relationship and we have great chemistry, but it's like he's been my brother for like more than a decade, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
24. I turned 25 in a couple weeks. It's been about it's been a decade. Um, maybe more, but definitely at least a decade. And the relationship to me, like I look at the music as a business, point blank. Period. I hate this new age. Like you have to look at the music like a lifestyle, and you have. I hate that shit, bro. Like no, it is a business, yo, and it's like y'all losing the fiber. And in a business, you have a CEO, you have a CFO, you have a assistant, you have an office manager, you have all of these things. And the music, if you ask anybody, or at least I won't speak for if you ask me, the music is the commodity and it's the capital. It's like it's our free shipping if we're Amazon. Like it is the thing that keeps it moving, but it isn't. It may not be the most high ticketed item, but it's the thing that keeps the engine moving. It's the free shipping. You know what I'm saying? It's the Amazon Prime. And in that, I doubt that Jeff Bezos is somewhere waking up every morning and, all right, I got to do this, da 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 da. No, you put people in position because that's what they do. And this is what Third does. So I have freed myself of that responsibility and of that stress to where someone who's not me and is not emotional about the music, like he can take off 7 songs on the album because he's not emotional about it. He could say, "Yo,
Yeah.
I don't care who died that made you write this song. Nobody's gonna like this shit." And it's like you're emotional, but you're like, no,
Yeah.
it was the song that I wrote to my ex girlfriend. And like, no, nobody cares. If it's not good, it's not good. And I look at it like that, and I believe that that's what separates us from everybody else. And why we're going to, I have full faith that 10 years from now, somebody's going to look back on this interview and be like, damn, they called this shit. He called it, Third called it. All of the fans that are around right now while we're starting up, they called this shit. And I believe the reason they're going to be able to say that is because I think I'm one of the few people that understand the concept of one, business, but two, of relieving yourself of certain roles and certain duties
Yeah.
and allowing someone that's better at that thing to do it. I know that no one can rap better than me. I'm confident in that. I believe if you
Talk
put me
your
in a room
shit.
with anybody, no bullshit. I believe if you put me in a room with anybody, it's going to be a long day for everybody in that room. Like, and I don't think it's an ease thing. I don't think it's a room of ease. Like, I don't think it's just going to be easy for me. But I step up to whoever is near me. If I'm around a whole bunch of whack niggas, you probably gonna get a whack verse. But actually, no, that's cat. But if around a bunch of whack dudes, you definitely won't get the supreme KO that you could get. If you put
Yeah.
me in a room with Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, and I'm sorry for all of those people that want to hate Chance the Rapper. He's writing
He's
better than
amazing.
whatever rapper you can name. If
He's
you put me
amazing.
in those rooms, I know for a fact I'm rising to the occasion. So it's like I don't need nobody to help me with that. But I also know that I have the worst memory in the world. Like where you would swear I
I
smoked
got
weed.
off.
It's awful. It's awful. And I don't smoke. I don't do anything, bro. But my memory is so bad. So I have to put people in places that are good at these things, that can keep their brain clear, that can like always like that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
But,
I have all to that. I have awful short-term memory, and I don't get how these people memorize verses that are like 10 minutes long,
yeah. Now that
or
I'm good at. That I'm good
or
at.
or like how they write a song without writing it down. Like I have to write it down. I can't.
I'm also good
I
at
can't.
that.
I can't hove this.
Maybe
And I
my
know.
memory is not bad. I think what you said, I think I just have a bad, you know what it is? I don't remember things that I don't care about. That's why I need my producer. That's why I need my managers, my right hand man. Like I don't remember things that I could not care less about. The only thing that I care about is rapping and occasionally singing and some hooks. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about a rollout. I don't care about
Yeah.
none of that shit.
That's
So
why you get a
some
manager, and they
yeah,
they handle that marketing side.
exactly. Yeah.
And I know
100%.
you said that you have a lot of unreleased music. I just want to say that I know you have a version of your album with just Billy Blunt producing it, and we would all love to
Oh
hear that because that
shit.
man's crazy.
That's crazy. He pulled that one out the
That's
crates.
that
Jesus.
was another one I was waiting to load up.
Yeah, that's the Nardwuar joint. Yeah, Billy, man, I've been in a room with Billy Blunt one time since doing that project, and I always get so nervous when I like speak to him because I know he want to just gut check me one time because he did the entire shit, bro. Like play guitar, play
Yeah,
strings, play keys on everything,
dude,
and I was
he's
just like, nah, I'm cool.
bro,
That
he's
shit,
so nice.
yeah. I'm
So
sorry,
I
bro.
want. Sorry, sorry, Billy. We love you. I'll see you at SOBs in New York.
Right.
Um, so I want to touch on your family. Your brother, which I discovered through watching some interviews, is Elijah LaFleur. I didn't realize. Like I've seen that
Yes.
name all over my Twitter. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you're the middle brother. I'm the
hmm
baby of two brothers. But
Oh wow.
I I love the
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
aspect that you talk in this album, and I want to say the song "Check on You" actually made
hmm
me cry because my grandmother passed away 6 years ago at this point, and she
hmm
was, as you say, the matriarch of my family on my mom's side, like ran shit. And
Yeah.
you touched on, I'll spin this in a positive way, but you touched on like, oh, she might not see who I end up marrying and might not see like
Right.
all these big things, and that
Yep.
shit like made me tear up because I've definitely
Yep.
had those thoughts. And I know
hmm
you have the mindset of good. Was it good things come to an end, and
Yeah. All good things come to an end.
all
Yeah.
good things come to an
Yeah.
end.
But all
But
bad things come to an end as well. Yeah.
the voicemails were just like beautiful. But I want to just touch on like how important family is to you and how,
hmm
because I mean grandmas don't maybe don't understand the rapping side of it, but they understand
Yeah.
like this is my grandson and like what he loves. And then obviously
Right.
your brother's an amazing singer.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting with that, bro, is like that's kind of what made my grandma so amazing is the fact that she did understand that rapping side. Like she was probably one of my biggest fans. Both of them. So my grandma that's still alive is my mom's mom.
Hmm.
She's the voice that you hear on Grandma's Boy on the album.
Okay.
That's her voice.
Yeah.
So obviously she understands rap because she gave a verse you know what I'm saying, at the end of the album.
Yeah.
So both of my grandmas always understood the music. Now what they don't understand is not going to school. Like when I dropped out, that was like my dad is an educator. He has his doctorates in education. My mom is a lawyer and an educator. She has her doctorates in law and education. My auntie is an educator. My auntie Tasha. My all three of my female cousins on my dad's side, Taylor, Aaliyah, and Jonique, all teachers. Um,
Damn.
my I could go on forever. Point being,
Yeah.
everyone in my family is either an educator or highly educated, like highly, except like my pops. I don't believe he went to college. And I say pop like my grandfather,
Yeah.
but that's it. So when I dropped out, it was like this very interesting kind of dynamic, especially to drop out of high school. Dropping out of college is like, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Dropping out of high school is like crazy.
Do you mind like what went into that if you are comfortable sharing that?
Yeah, of course. Money, bro. Like I don't like not having money, and my family I always joke with people because I tell my friends like if you think that being broke is bad, try being born into wealth and then going broke. Like that shit is way worse. Like
Interesting. Yeah.
I'll go up against anybody in poverty. Like poverty after not having poverty is way worse for sure. Um, and I just wasn't interested in that shit, bro. Like, nope. It sounds funny, but
Yeah.
I genuinely was just like, nah, I need some money. And I quit school to go
Yeah.
work full time at a marketing company. And I've always been like really witty and like charismatic. So I was able to
Yeah.
get into like really office buildings, like in Florida, like an office
Hmm.
building with nothing but professionals, college degrees, all of that shit. Except ironically enough, the owner was a high school dropout, but everyone else college degrees, all of that. Uh, and I found a way to finagle my way in there, just off of this, you know what I'm saying, like saying the right things.
Because you're clearly, I mean, to write at this high of a level, you have to be very intelligent. And
Yeah.
like through watching interviews and just like the stuff you reference, you're clearly a highly intelligent person.
So that was the other thing of what went into it, and this is also going to sound very arrogant, but I realized I didn't need to learn in school anymore. Like I probably have forgot more than most motherfuckers in college will ever learn. Like just because of growing up in the Nation of Islam, it's like you're forced to learn about shit. Like
Hmm.
when the Kanye West thing was going on, and it's like people talk about we need to study Jewish relations. I'm like, bro, I was forced to study that shit in like sixth grade, and I couldn't care less about. Like, I knew what the ADL was long before Kyrie Irving, and you know what I'm saying, like long before. Like I've been just submerged in all of this my entire life. So it was like I knew that I didn't want to do anything that required a degree. So the only reason I would stay in school would be to learn, which I do love learning, but I just weighed my options. I was like, wait, everything that I'm about to learn in college and the rest of my high school, I probably already have seen or will
Hmm.
see just through living life.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is unnecessary.
Damn. That's interesting. I mean, I don't want to give my full opinion on school in here because my parents will hear it. But yeah, a lot of
Mhm.
the stuff they teach, you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to utilize this. Like, I was a logistics major because I want to go into the concert side of the music industry, and I'm like, oh, there's logistics involved in concert
Yeah,
planning, but I was learning about like Amazon trucking and stuff that I'm never
right.
gonna utilize.
Exactly. There you go. There you
Hey,
go.
love my love my college education, mom and dad. If you are
Yeah.
listening, I'm sorry.
For sure. Shout out mom and dad. If I could have went to college, I would have went, to be completely honest. Like if I was rich at that age, I for sure would have went. But
Yeah, it was great experience. I want to talk about the line that I said before. I was gonna bring up because I
hmm
loved it.
I forgot it
Throw a
already.
I throw a band on her like Paul Pierce.
Oh, ha!
I
That is
really
not
enjoyed that
sports
one.
culture. That is meme culture for sure. I was wondering
Throwing
what
the
line you were talking about.
throwing the
Yeah,
headband into the crowd.
bro, that's my favorite line on a project, yo. Like, and it's
I loved it.
you either got to have sports knowledge or supreme Twitter knowledge, and I have supreme Twitter
I have
knowledge.
supreme Twitter knowledge and
Yeah,
sports knowledge. I'm
yes.
both. I'm a
So
Twitter 24/7.
yeah, so you got it immediately. That's very few people have gotten that, bro. Like, and I know it because nobody's tweeted it out. Like, usually people
Yeah,
tweet out my lines and like captions and shit. And I've seen every line from my project as a caption except that one. And I'm like, oh damn, y'all didn't get it. Y'all didn't catch
that's
that
why
one.
you come to SoundCentric. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
oh God.
I was gonna tweet it, but I'm like, no, what? I'm gonna save for I'm gonna save for
Yeah,
the podcast. I'm gonna bring this one up.
I
Nah,
threw
because
a point at a cheap fall up here. Crazy.
yeah, I'm a sports fanatic, like huge Philly sports, huge on
Mhm.
movies. So when I'm rapping and I'm referencing stuff, if someone gets it, I'm so impressed, and like I do it for myself because I think I'm so clever with shit. Like I'll be,
Yeah,
I don't know, referencing Interstellar, the characters from Interstellar, or
yeah,
some type of meme, or like some like NBA moment from 2014. If someone's like, you just referenced Dion Waiters at the All Star game, I'm like, yeah, I did.
bro. That's
I'm
hilarious.
happy
So
you heard that.
that's what I couldn't do. But if it was memed, I could do it. Like I was also, I've had a line about that Monte Ellis video where he's on a computer and he's like this, and it's like he starts type. I believe it's from 2K, low key, if I'm not mistaken. But it's Monte Ellis for
Maybe.
sure. But he's like doing like this, and he starts like typing on a computer.
Yeah.
But it was memed on Twitter, so it's like that's. I hope that's Monte Ellis. I'm about to sound really ignorant if it's not,
Yeah.
but I think it is. Um, yeah, it
I
is.
don't even. Yeah.
It for sure is. Yeah,
Like I had a line of a song that I sent to my brothers where I say Adam's now 22, like Lena the Plug, and I'm like, my brother has to be on Twitter to understand who Adam
yeah, yeah.
22 is, then who
Um,
Lena the Plug is, but connect that
nah,
Adam is now 22 years old.
yeah, right. Facts. Yeah, yeah. Nah, but those are my favorite lines because it's like it's the Hove effect, like where
Yeah,
the person that gets it, and the person that gets it later, they're gonna
it's gonna
value
love
it
it.
way more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? There's
that's
lines.
why people
Huh,
love Lil Wayne, and they're like, whoa, that's
facts.
what Wayne meant.
Yeah, yeah, that's what he meant by that. Yeah. Wayne just had one with me actually. I felt so ashamed of myself as a rapper. I saw people tweeting about it. They were like, "Man, y'all didn't know that Wayne went," and I was like, "Hell no, I didn't know." And I was so ashamed. Like I was
That's the
too
best part of hip
ashamed.
hop is
It's
that
the greatest
you
part,
never
bro.
stop like hearing parts of it.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. It always unfolds, divulges itself more.
yeah.
For sure.
So this is a question that we've asked probably almost every artist because I'm so interested in the concept. But on Love Punch, you're rapping from the perspective of a girl and the relationship with you.
hmm
And I mean, I've dealt with this where you write a song about someone specific, and you're like, they might hear this song.
Oh,
And I
definitely.
know on your last album, you said you had a song where you're rapping about like a relationship. Was it cheating or something? And you're like, my girl like didn't get that mad about hearing it, but
Yeah, yeah.
because like, how do you
I be
balance
one, yo.
being really personal and like
Yeah.
giving out information about yourself and being like people in my family or people who I'm seeing, friends, are gonna hear this and they might feel away.
Mm, truth. Again, that's one of the gifts that come from being a Muslim. Because we're just taught like truth is like the order of the day. Um, and to me, there is nothing you could do to me that God couldn't do to me. However, there's a lot of shit God could do to me that you couldn't do to me. So it's like I would rather just be on the side of truth through everything and face whatever mortal consequences there may be, but maintain that goodness and that grace with God, then be trying to hide and connive. So with the music, it's like yeah, like the situation is a situation. I don't know what to tell you. Now, I won't say nothing about you that's may harm your career or your you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like anything like that. But if it's something I did, if it's something you did to me, or I mean, if it's something I did to you, then I'll be on you know, like God already
Yeah.
knows I did the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, what is it me saying
Yeah.
it to you or about you? I don't care. And if it's something you did to me, I'm damn sure putting that shit out.
Because
Like
you did bleep out someone's name in the album. I'm not asking you to say that
I
name, but like
did,
I know
yeah,
you did bleep out some name. But on the other hand, other
I
names
did
you did
twice.
say. Or
Yeah, and it's so funny because if you listen close enough, you could do like Nardwuar would definitely be able to know what name was bleeped out because it was the context more than the name.
yeah,
It was the context of using the name.
I
But I've
think
said the name before for
for
sure.
Nardwuar, I think he has to talk to the family and ask them
Absolutely, yeah.
questions.
He talks to somebody.
Because yeah,
It's so
you don't
crazy.
you can watch as many interviews as you want, but some of this stuff, I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. He says to Cole
Yeah,
like, "So you found Kendrick Lamar?" And Cole's like, how you know that?"
yeah, yeah. How'd you know? Yeah,
That must give him the biggest rush every time he does that.
absolutely, yeah. Has to. He's a goat in this field. He's a goat.
Him, Sean Evans is also really good at like just finding the most random
Would not know
information.
Sean Evans. Not gonna lie to you. Would
That's the
not lie.
hot ones guy, like the
Oh,
chicken
okay.
wing.
I do know
Yeah,
him. Okay, cool.
yeah. So now I want to kind of transition into your clothing because I know your clothing brand's a big thing, and you
Yes.
did say, I hope I can find the quote right here.
Hmm.
No, I can't. You said that you use startup money from the clothing. I forget which song that was. If you do you know what line
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Um.
I had it written down somewhere. But tell me about your clothing, why that's so important to you. I can tell by the glasses you got and the hat. You got fashion clearly.
Yeah,
But what?
man. I used to have way more, but I hate spending my money. A lot. I hate spending money, yo. Like that's why I'm saying like I don't even be doing no flexing rap. Like I rap about spending money, but like not in a crazy way. So
Yeah,
my fashion really, in fact, it forces me to have even better fashion than I would because I be having to be like really niche and like unique with things. Like
yeah.
I have these pants I'm looking at right now, actually across the room that I got. My grand, it's my grandfather's hunting pants. They're these bright orange flare pants
I can
that you
picture
have
what
to
they
wear
look
as a
like.
hunter so the other hunters can see you so they don't shoot
Yeah.
you when you're hunting deer. Um, and I was at his house out in the country, and I'm like, them pants look nice.
Let me
And
get
I'm like,
those.
and I tried them on, and they had like we call them in fashion, they're like flare pants. So they have like the at the ends
Yeah.
they do like this, so they can go around boots and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to
Yeah.
fuck these up. So I asked him, could I have them? And he said, yeah. I can't wait to pull them bitches out, bro. Can't wait to pull them shits out.
I'll give you a funny story. For my bar mitzvah when I was 12 years old, I
Hmm.
got Jordans, these pair of infrared 11s. And I was like, these are the coolest things. And I was in
Yeah.
a phase where I never wore my shoes. I didn't want to crease them. Like even
Hmm.
if I had a pair of Vans, like I didn't wear them because I'm like, these are so cool. I don't want to crease my $30 pair of Vans.
Yeah. Oh
So
God.
I thought they were small on me. So I knew a kid who like sold shoes, one of my
Hmm.
family friends. So I'm like, can you like sell these for me and like get me the money? And for years, I never got anything. My brother was like, "Whatever happened to those shoes?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I never really thought to ask the kid." And I'm at
Yeah.
the gym, and I see the kid playing basketball, and we're talking. I'm like, "Wait, are you wearing my Jordans right now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I'm gonna need those back." Like,
What? Nah,
and
that's
like
he would have
6 years
had
later,
to.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need those shoes back."
Yeah, he would have had to taste the knuckle sandwich for sure. That's craziness.
But
But
honestly, they're in good condition, so I don't think he ever actually wore them. I think he was
yeah,
like, I was looking for a pair of shoes, and I'm like, "Yeah, like you can
until
finish the
that day,
game, but
right? Yeah.
I'm gonna need those back."
Oh, man, that's the worst luck ever, bro. Like, that's terrible.
Because we're talking like face to face. I'm like, are those my shoes? And he was like, yeah, you're right. He's probably like, damn, got caught.
He definitely went home like, dog. The one time I wear these bitches,
Yeah.
I run
Oh,
into get terrible.
I found the line, but you said the startup money came from clothes, so I was close enough.
Yeah. Which
And
song was it though? I'm curious.
I feel like it was the first album. I was listening to it last night. I think it was that. I don't know. I wish I
No,
wrote down. Is it on this
I know what
album?
it is. No, it's wait.
The
It's
startup
the
money came
second
from
album.
clothes.
It's the mixtape. It's the thing is. The
Okay, there
thing
we go.
is, startup money came from clothes, nigga. You bold. Don't start us, homie.
Yeah.
We'll take it where you
So
want. Yeah, that's the thing is.
when you got into clothing, did you get into it with like the mindset of this can help my music career, or is it just two separate passions that happen to help each other?
Um, to be completely honest, fashion people are gonna get mad at me. I like clothes and I like dressing up. Couldn't care less about the fashion industry. Could not care less.
Okay.
I like streetwear more than I like fashion wear.
I know what you
Um,
mean, yeah.
yeah, so that's what
That's
like
what I wear.
Southside Blue Hearts was. And I was just like, I just wanted to create a brand that kind of could exist as an arm of me,
Yeah.
and of my companies. And again, like I started with, my business mind is like out of this world. You're gonna see this year just how
I'm ready.
decent shit is, yo. And there's a Jay-Z line on Black Album on Blueprint. You don't know. And he
What a
says,
song.
"What's the shit?
Turn my music high.
What's the shit? Something to the effect of,
I'm gonna see if
oh,
I can
that's
get
what it
it.
was. If somebody would have told him that Hova sell clothing
Not in
to
this
not in
lifetime.
his
Wasn't in
lifetime,
my
I
right
wasn't
mind.
right." You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mm.
like I heard that and I said, I got it. Like,
Yeah.
I need to create an engine. Like, I need to create multiple engines that power different things. I don't touch my
Yeah.
pockets, no bullshit, for anything. Like, this powers this, and then this powers this, and then this 9 to 5 will power this, and then this
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
power this. And it's like everything comes from something. I was just telling my producer, like, he's like a nomad kind of. I think that's the word, but like he doesn't drive. He doesn't have a license.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just now using credit for the first time, like late last year. Like, he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't care to do anything. Like, he could do everything if he wanted to, but doesn't care. Like, he's like
Mm-hmm.
the real Rick Rubin. Like, I'm gonna start calling him the real Rick
Yeah.
Rubin. Shit.
Real.
But I was telling him, like, man, bro, you got to get a credit card and like put all of your bills on there. And I was just telling him, like, the freedom of not like having to go into your bank account to do things is like, and I don't like, I'm not rich, I'm not no millionaire, no billionaire, nothing yet. Coming soon, but not yet.
Yes, sir.
But I just, all of these engines just power different things. And to that point, I was just talking about the credit card. Like, it's like, this pays my credit card monthly, and then my credit card pays for my bills monthly on auto pay,
Mm-hmm.
rent, everything. There's not nothing that doesn't get paid with my credit card. And then I get the rewards from the credit card, which I don't know if you're in the credit, but it's like the rewards
Yeah.
be enough to pay for your groceries. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like everything just has a different engine so that you don't have to touch your pockets once. And it's like my direct deposits just
Yeah.
go into whatever account, and it's like just kind of goes on its own. So Southside Blue Hearts was that, but then I started Southside Cares as the charity branch of Southside Blue Hearts,
Mm-hmm.
and that's powered by Southside Blue Hearts. And then Southside Cares, because it's a nonprofit, can do this, and then that'll power. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
of these branches of different things.
Smart as hell.
Yeah,
Well,
not smart yet, or it's the idea is smart, but we
it's
still,
there. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like bringing it into fruition and shit. But yeah.
Well, Kayo, thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to give you a chance to plug yourself if you want to give what your social media handles is, anything
Oh,
concert wise, if anything's coming up.
that was
Yeah,
super crazy.
plug
Yeah, that was
yourself. I say it every time, and no one said pause yet, but I think to it
yeah, that's
myself.
crazy. That's
Don't
crazy.
plug yourself. What's a better way to phrase that? Could you plug your?
Plug your info. I don't know, man. It's all
Okay,
good. We in
maybe plugs the issue.
2024. We in 2024, man. And we don't gotta pause no more, man. Cameron not around.
Well, what's your
But
social media?
yeah, so I am Kayo. All of my socials are at Kayo Southside, KayoSouthside. Website KayosSouthside.com. Everything you could possibly need. If you search Kayo Southside, more than likely it'll come up. And yeah, new mixtape out now. Until Its Burial is going crazy. It broke 12,000 today. Actually, as I
Let's
checked my,
go.
yeah, it was at 10,000 yesterday. So yeah, We going
I
crazy.
seriously was 100 plus of those in this last week.
I believe it. I believe it. No bullshit. I can't see Tidal, but I have Tidal, and I know I'm like 1,000 of titles for sure.
Yeah.
I was running that shit up when it first dropped.
Well, if you made it to the end of the episode, thank you so much. You got the album of the year looking at you right now, so go listen to it. And like, subscribe, share it to a friend. Your friend will like Kayo, so send it to your best friend, send him a Kayo song.
Absolutely. And I'm a good guy, bro. I'm a nice guy. Your parents will like me, man. Send it to your parents, to your grandmother.
It's for the kids. It's got charity.
I'll make them smile. Definitely for the kids.
Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Peace.